Welcome to Ephemera Files by Tommy, and I am still working on the Gentleman journal, and I have already gone through, and I think that I showed you this in the last video where I had gone ahead and folded some pockets and such, but now I want to show you what else I did, because you might notice that the edges are a little more colorful than they were. I'm not sure that it's going to stay that way, but that's because I went through and took my Distress Spray stains and just sprayed. It's supposed to look random. It's not random. If you know me, you know that I can't do random very well. I do not have wings on my pockets, so I cannot fly by the seat of my pants. I've also gone through and sorted out some of the smaller pieces of ephemera and different things, because there are certain places in this book where it mentions things like capping the chimney flue, and so I've got a note there about what I want to do. This is about travel and vacation, and so I've got some things that I want to look for, and these are some things that I've picked out to use on that page. Let's see, what is this one? Oh, that's furniture. Let's see. Sheet music, playing cards, maps and globes. And then a note that right here is where I want to attach my folio. Not the one I already made, another one that's going to be a part of the journal. But right now it's still drying. The ink is still pretty wet. What I did do was go through and I made a note of all of the pockets that I have made and what size they are, so that I know that I need to make 2 4 3/4 by 5.5 inch journal cards or inserts. And I've got them listed by the first number is height and the second number is width. Even though some of them may end up being the same dimension when you lay them out, if I make it a directional card, I want to make sure that it's going the right direction. So I want to work on that and see how many of those I can get made in this sitting. All right, so I pulled out these. These are parts of the kit, and I don't know if any of them will fold into the proportions that I need for this, but I'm gonna see if any of them do, and if it does, then that will be one step ahead. So that is almost 3 by 6.5, and it can go either direction. It'll be fine either way. So almost 3 by 6.5. I've got a 6.5 by 3.5. And this is less than that, so it would fit in that pocket. So this might be a good choice to go ahead and get made for that particular, what would I call it? Pocket receptacle area. I have a bone folder around here somewhere. It's right here. And I think that maybe I want to make this let's see, I think that if this is a bank envelope, I need to fold that just a little bit tighter down there. I think that I didn't cut up to the, I didn't cut that very well. Let me just do that real quick, because it's just too close, and if it's too close, it doesn't want to let it fold properly. So sometimes you have to cut out that little bitty corner depending on how you cut it out to begin with, because I want that line not to show on the front. So I'm going to fold it again, see if I can get that accomplished. And it looks like I need to do the same thing over here. If your paper buckles, can you see how that buckled up when I folded it? See how it's bent? That means that it's getting into itself. And that's probably not the right term, but it means that you need to clip that off because it's running into the other piece and it's not going to make a very clean fold. All right, so let's try this again. It would go like that, but if it was a bank envelope, it would be like that because the bills would go in there, and then your change, your ID, and all of that stuff would go inside of there. And those are not the same. If I made it as a regular envelope, it wouldn't matter that those aren't the same, but because they are, gosh, I'm being so noisy today, I don't know why. I'm going to try to see if I can match that other side over there a little better. That didn't work very well. Let's try this again. Just cut straight and cut straight instead of trying to match the round. That's much better. Yeah. And so if I'm doing it like this, that goes over there, and this would be open or closed, and I could actually make this like a little policy closure. Would that make sense to do that on here? If I am making this into, let's see, let me think. If I'm making this into like a bank envelope and I want to do a policy closure, that would go there, and then the other piece would go there. And I would prefer that that was on the inside because otherwise I'm cutting off the top of their heads. All right. I could make it just a regular envelope that opens on the end instead of leaving that open. But I think I like the idea of leaving it open. So that's what I'm going to do. So in order to make this a policy envelope, I'm going to need to put a hole here and a hole here. I'm going to have a couple of punches, and I'm going to need some string. So I'm going to gather those, and I will be right back. So I gathered my things. I'm going to ink these edges real quick. And I am using walnut stain. I'll probably go back and forth between walnut stain and brushed corduroy because of the colors in this kit. And I got this piece of Tim Holtz packaging, and I'm going to use it to punch out my rounds. I couldn't think of my word there for a second. Let's see, I'm just going to run the ink around these real quick. And I'm doing this because of the white edge where I punch this, use my punch to punch the circle out. It shows the core of the cardstock packaging. And I cannot figure out for the life of me why it doesn't sound like anything when you're inking right here at your desk yourself, but when you hear it on camera, it's atrociously loud. And I'm using my 1/8 inch hole punch for this, because the prongs on my brads are not that wide, so I can use a smaller one. Okay, let's see, which way did I have this going? I had these guys on the top and this wrapped around here, because if I did that, then I'd be cutting off half of his face. So this is the way it's going to go. And so I know that I need this one to go right about, now my string's going to be going right across him. I don't know. I guess I can deal with that. What did I do? Yeah, because that's going to cut off half of his face. So what am I doing? Let me think. If I just do this, then I'm not going to worry about covering up his face. And I may just cover him up anyway with the label or something so that it doesn't look so strange. That's what I will do. So I'm going to make a note, if I can find my pen. Oh, I would rather use a pencil. Up here, make a note. Let's see if that's centered. I was pretty close. Oh my goodness. Okay, so I'm going to punch my hole right there. Right there. I like this. This is Tim Holtz Ideology, and it's one of the rulers that has the 0 center. And I really like that. And I got some glue on it yesterday. Let's see, put that back up there in my drawing pencils. This back out. And you want to do this, if you're going to make something like this, I'll just tell you it's easier to punch your hole for this one before you go through and do all of the, before you go through and glue things. If you start gluing things, it's going to be very hard to get that brad in there properly. So I'm just going to line up these two holes, the one in the circle and the one in the envelope, not gluing them. And then I'm going to put my brad through. I'm going to spread the prongs. And then I'm going to find a piece of scrap paper, which shouldn't be too hard. And I just need it to be big enough to cover those prongs. That way nothing catches when you're putting things into and out of, taking them out of your journal. And I'm just going to glue that on there real quick. And that's all it's for. It's not to help keep anything together. It's just to help keep it from catching so that things will go in more smoothly. You could put a piece of tape over it. You could put a piece of washi over it. You could do all kinds of things. All right, now this one, I'm gonna have to do just a little bit more because I need to tie my string onto it. And this is the same that I used for my big accordion document file. And I will have a playlist of all my gentleman journal videos linked below. But I want to go ahead and, whoops, I made my knot just a little too far in. What I want to do is start my knot. You can see that I've got it through there, but I don't have it pulled tight yet. Can you see that? See that there's a space in there? I'm going to feed the prongs through that space, hopefully not straddling any of the string, the cord, binding, whatever you want to call it. So I'm going to tie that on there. Whoops. Well, okay, pretend I didn't do that yet. I'm going to go to the other end because this has to go through the circle first, and then you tie that knot. All right, let's try this again. My goodness. All right, once again, see, there is the center of my knot is not, my knot is not tied yet. I think I want to use the other side of that circle. And so I'm going to feed those prongs again through that hole. And I'm going to tighten it. Ouch. I'm going to stab myself is what I'm going to do. And now I am going to take some glue. And I am just going to glue that so that the knot does not come undone. The knot does not come loose. Because when you're putting it on something like this, if you tie a double knot in something this thick, you're just going to have a big old protrusion that may not work very well. So definitely I would probably use thinner, except for this is close and it goes with something I've already got in the making or in the makes in my stuff. But when you're putting your glue on here, don't get too much out here on the circle because you don't want to glue your circle down. Otherwise, this whole shebang is not going to work very well. Now, I'm going to feed that through the hole in the flap of the envelope. And then I'm going to spread those prongs out and I'm going to push down. I push down on my table, and a lot of times I will get something hard so that I can push that really flat. You're seeing a lot of my arm today. I apologize. All my stuff is encroaching on my space. All right. So now what I want to do is go ahead. I'm going to put another piece of the scrap paper. That's not actually going to catch anything, but that will be seen. So I just want to cover it up. I have about 4 different journals going on all at the same time right now. So it's kind of a bit of a hot mess right now with all of the different pieces. I've got sunflower pieces over here. I've got botanicals over in this area. I've got all kinds of stuff. All right, and I don't mind that sticks up just a little bit. I'm good with it. I probably should have poked my hole a little bit further down this way, but I was trying not to get too close to the edge. So either way, I'm good with it. Now I want to go ahead and get these glued, and I think, let's see, I need to just glue this little corner here to keep that folded up, and then this whole flap will glue down. And that's all the glue that I need. I may put a little on that corner too. Just a little bit. And I already forgot what I said. Yeah, right there. Oh, it's been. We'll just leave it at that. It's been. Keep getting my days mixed up this week. I was supposed to have a nail appointment yesterday. I thought it was today. and my nail tech called me to see if I was okay, because I don't miss my appointments. And I informed him that my appointment was today, and or tomorrow, as I said, which would be today. And he said, no, it's the 17th. And then Monday, I thought it was Tuesday. Tuesday, I knew it was Tuesday, thought my appointment was on Wednesday, and my appointment was on Tuesday. And now I think that, I don't know, it's just craziness. I did just a little bit of pouncing here so I don't have that white flap showing. And now this will fold down and it'll close. Just like that. And so this was for the 6.5 by 3.5, so I can check that off. And I'm going to take my post-it notes here and write down which one it was. And see, I don't even know. That's something that I measured in centimeters because I couldn't get it to measure right in inches. And I'm in Indiana. We don't use the metric system, except for I did, and I probably will, because it seems to be a little bit more user-friendly when you're measuring small pieces. All right, so this was 6.5 by 3.5. Oops, and I smeared the ink. Gosh, I'm all inky today anyway. And this will go in my basket of made things. Now, what else is in here that I can make that will take care of one of those? These are mostly like pockets and stuff, so I may not get very many things out of this. Ooh, that could be a thing, because that's a file folder. And it looks like it might fit one of my long, narrow, tall. Yes, all those words. And it's 2 5/8 by 8. So 2 5/8 would be the width. 2 5/8. Seven by 2. I have a 7 by 2. That's a skinny pocket. Okay. All right, so this one is not going to work for any of those. It'll work in the journal, just won't work for any of those. I have little short file folder pieces like this. Sorry, I was probably off camera because I was trying to see what I was doing folding it. So let's see what it measures. It is 2 inches by, all right, so we've got a 2 by 3. And that could go in a 2.5 by 4. I don't know if I want to do that in a 2.5 by 4. It might disappear a little too easily. Oh goodness. Let's see what this one ends up being. It's 2.5 by a little over 3. Nope, that's going to be too small too. It'll just disappear. Goodness gracious. This one might work for that 2.5 by 4. Let's see what it is when I measure it or when I fold it up. Okay, so it needs to be 4 inches. Let's see, the pocket's 4 inches wide, and this is that one would depend on which pocket it was, and I know that that's towards the back. So wide, this is 2.5, so that could go in a 3. And then 4 inches tall. Okay, so I may not get very many out of this stack, but then I also have a whole nother. I need 3 2.5 by 4s. But it needs to be 2.5 inches tall by 4. That's 4 3/4, but that might still work for that. Let's see. Do this one. Two, and then could be cut off. I could do this. So that would work. And then just cut off the excess on this end. Okay, so that'll work for a 2.5 by 4. Let's see if I can find one more. I know that those all go on the same page. So if I can find one that will work for that. No, but it'll be okay. And I know that those pages all go in this way. And so if I make this the front, I can actually have it hold something that when you pull it out this way, it pulls out the top. So I think that's what I'll do. All right, so I want to line that one. This one, I don't need to line. I'm just going to do something to the inside, and it may just be as simple as what I did before. May do this and then add some washi tape. I think that would be a good idea. All right, so let's see what washi I want to use. It's going to show, and it's going to be right here. Sorry, I need to make my marks again for my, I need to just get moved over to my other table is what I need to do. All right, so those are gonna go inside that. So I need this much washi. And which one do I have that I think will go with this the best? This is my Tim Holtz-ish roll. Not all of these are Tim Holtz, but they do all remind me of Tim Holtz. I think, well, it's gonna have to be a combination of washi's. Let's see. I think I like the numbers and the words. I'm gonna line that up with that top edge. Hopefully without my hair being in the way. And I wanted numbers. Just gonna line that up as well. And I need just a little bit more. So do I want to go with a different one, or do I want to repeat one of those? Really need to get my nails done. They're getting in my way. That's what I get for missing my appointment, right? See, I didn't even have to ink that at all. I just covered it all up. All right, so I'm going to trim all this off of the edges. Ink the edges. All right, and this is going to be a straightforward envelope, so I'm just going to glue my edges here. so this was, what did I say this was? Oh, the 2.5 by 4s. 2.5 by 4 pocket. Okay, got that one. I had another one out. Where'd it go? Oh, it was this one. That's right. And I think I'm going to line this. I think I want to line this with some, I don't know, some ledger or something. I think I'm just going to line it with this scrap piece of paper. But I need to measure it first because right now it's too long. It needed to be 2.5 by 4. And a little bit longer would have been okay, but not that much longer. Okay, interruptions. I am going to just glue this. I don't want that part. This is from one of my digitals that I made that did not print quite right. I think I will glue that just right there. Fits pretty well, perfectly. Yeah, this interruptions and unexpected meetings and all kinds of things have been going on this week. Well, all the way from last weekend, this past weekend. And I don't know whether I'm coming or I'm going. All right, there's that. And I don't know what I just did with that little scrap. There it is. And I will keep that. So there's number 2. I will go back and finish decorating, but I just wanted you to see how I'm going through and how my process is working for getting this done. I went through and the first thing I did was I tore out all of the pages that I needed to tear out from the book. Then I went through and I made all the pockets, not gluing them, but just figuring out where I wanted the pockets to be and getting all that sorted out, folding them down, making marks and notes as to what I wanted to do. Then I did go through and glue all the pockets down that were supposed to be glued down completely. The next thing I did was go through and make a note of where I already knew that I wanted certain things to be, because I wanted to be able to have that as a guideline when I was doing my ink spraying. I did already get a couple of pieces of paper put in, and then I remembered that I hadn't done the spraying yet, and I wanted to do the spraying before I put the paper in so that I didn't have to worry about the background so much. And this is still really wet. So right now I am letting this dry, and I went through and I made a list of the pockets that I need, and that's what I've been working on so far. Let's see, and I made 2 of those, and I'm just going to keep on going that way. This was a little different video for me. It's been a wacky week, and I am kind of I don't know, loopy, lost. I don't even know what word I need to use for that. But that's where I'm going so far on my gentleman journal. Thank you for joining me today. And as always, be kind. Bye.